Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 27th of June. I'm going to give you the key strands to look out for this week. Please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces, which you can watch in terms of your ascendant or your sun or both. Now this week, of course, does see the new moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, depending on where you are in the world, it's on the 28th or 29th. In terms of Universal Central Time, it's the 29th. And this squares with the buoyant energy of Jupiter. Now, both are in cardinal signs. Cancer, the second of the cardinal quadrants, is very much about protection, nurture, the environment, our home, our family, our feelings. So that upbeat energy, that levitating energy of Jupiter is asking us to find ways, enterprising ways, because I think Jupiter is pushing for that, to add that sense of security at the root of our existences. Now Neptune, the planet of dreams, does begin a retrograde on Tuesday, which will last through to the 4th of December. Neptune's great if we want to embrace a more spiritual dimension, whether it's a more traditional spirituality or something that's more personal and much more to do with our own particular way of experiencing faith. But the retrograde could see us thinking very deeply about these issues over this period of time. But later this week, Neptune gets into a rather destructive right angle with Mercury. Mercury in the sign of Gemini, of course, is in its home sign, and it's very much about clarity and quick wits. So an exchange towards the end of this week may require a little more care, particularly if you're talking about a contract, but some gossip could be doing the round, so vital to try to keep things real. But there are two glorious influences this week. Mars forges a very stable angle to Saturn, and also there's a beautiful link between Jupiter and Venus. Now that can actually be very lucky, and if you're wanting to look to add to your family, I understand that this particular aspect can be very helpful, but it's also one where we can socialise and be a bit more free-spirited and live in the moment. Now the more breaking and restrictive energies of Saturn are counterbalanced by the more progressive energies of Mars, which is very much about pushing forwards. So Saturn can act as a bit of an anchor for the more rampant and more impulsive energies of Mars, so that's a very nice balancing influence too. In fact, towards the end of this week, despite the fact that Mercury gets blighted by Neptune, it actually also itself forges a stable link to Saturn. So I think as the week goes on, scrutinising the details around anything is going to be important. And as I say, particularly if you're discussing a contract, a job offer, or you're sending some communication that's important, make sure that you treble check everything before you do press that send button. Now, if you'd like to get a more detailed understanding of the new moon, please see beneath this video and you can watch my new moon special video. But if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. I'm nearly there at the 100,000 subs mark, and if you've already subscribed, I'm very grateful. And if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and embrace the wonder of more serious astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life, as well as a 12-month personal forecast. These are completely individual to you, and there's 30% off if you see the link beneath this video with my special offer. So Capricorn, your week commencing the 27th of June forecast sees that new moon in your sector of relating. New moon, an opportunity to reset and review and perhaps even recalibrate our opportunities. So the 7th house about relating, about our boundaries, about where we interact, but also where we compete. Now, Cancer is a nurturing sign, but it's a strong sign, it's a cardinal sign, and it's also in a right angle with Jupiter in your 4th house, very much to do with home, emotion, family. So there could be some big conversations that are going to unfold over the next 4 weeks, perhaps about where you live, how you can collaborate. There could be some gatherings to do with your family or your extended family. Now, of course, your ruler Saturn is now in retrograde, and that forges 2 very positive links this week with Mars, also in your 4th house of home. So if you need to grapple with a financial situation, find the drive to go forwards with your target, but also make sure that every step you take is well checked out, and you're doing your due diligence, something you have a natural gift for, then I think that that's something that you can also make progress with this week. But with Neptune going into a retrograde in your 3rd house, how you express your ideas through to early December will require clarity. And whilst your imagination and also your dreams can be enriched by Neptune being in Pisces and being in retrograde, later this week there is a right angle forged with Mercury. So if you are trying to deal with those details that are so important in life, just be aware that something could be a bit distorted, or maybe you're told something that's not quite accurate or correct. So important to be very vigilant in the way you look at documents or check over any messages. But the 2 planets of fortune this week, Venus and Jupiter, are in a lovely connection, and this sextile can actually be very fortuitous. So if you're wanting to add to your family, or there could be some good news linked to someone else in your network, then that could be very welcome indeed. If you work from home also, and you have your own business, there could be a stroke of fortune linked to that particular aspect too.